Welcome to Honeydew Me. I'm Cass.
And I'm Emma, and this is our podcast where we dive into your relationships, your sex life, your interests, our interests. We talk a lot about ourselves, which we hope you can relate to. So therefore, we are being good friends, and we are talking about you too.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yep.
We're all the same. If there's one thing we've learned doing this podcast, it's that there is no such thing as a unique experience. Anything you're feeling shame about, likely the person next to you is also feeling quite a bit of shame about it. So really, we shouldn't feel shame at all. The goal is to make you shameless, babe. That's the goal.
Shameless, shame-free. Anyway, welcome back. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm just fine. I'm trying to take care of myself. I'm going to therapy, trying to have sex a little bit more. Just the things.
Took me aback. I haven't heard you say that in such a long time.
I know. In years. Literal years. That's why we have shifted our topics to be a little more broad, because we aren't having as much sex as... It's not like we ever had a ton of sex. That was not why we started this podcast. This isn't Call Her Daddy. This isn't
for yourself. I was just couldn't slow me down.
No, freight train.
I was just freight training. That's what they call it, right?
Gross.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm fine. I'm just doing my best to stay afloat and maybe thrive just a scotch. How are you?
Just a scooch. Well, you got good braids in today.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I got new deodorant. That's cool. It smells like peaches.
What is the brand?
Wild.
Interesting. I'm on the hunt. I get made fun of so much for my deodorant by you and Jenna. So.
Oh yeah. Well, because you use stuff that I feel like is clinically proven to cause cancer. So you know
it's what works. Keep me fresh.
Yeah.
For now.
I'll send
until
you
I'm
link.
40. All right.
Because I'd like you to live.
Smelling like peaches reminds me of holes and sploosh.
Oh, that's fine.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
That's like the one movie, not the one, but it's one of the movie foods that I would love to try. Sploosh.
If I'm going to try a movie food, it's going to be sploosh.
It's going to be sploosh. And I want it from a broken mason jar.
Obviously.
That's dirty. And then I just dug up underneath a boat.
Yes. Yes. And how are you?
Obviously, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing really well. I had a really fun weekend. I went to this thing called Brat Rave. She's like a DJ who travels and mainly does the Brat album.
Cool.
Uns, Brat. And that was very fun. I whipped out my little mini dress and my neon long sleeve.
Yes, you did. I didn't even know you owned a neon long sleeve.
I did. And that was really fun. I danced the night away. I kissed some lips. It was wonderful.
Amazing.
It wasn't anything too salacious. Oh, and I thought I was handed drugs. Turns out I wasn't.
What were you handed?
Well, let me back it up. So, I was dancing.
Yeah.
And, you're at a Charlie XCX girly pop brat rave, not a straight person in sight. Like, it's just a sea of gays. And so, as I was dancing next to these girls, like me and this girl were like, yeah, we vibing. So then we, start dancing with each other. And then as we, face each other, I'm like, fuck it. It's a rave. I'm a little drunk. And so then we, smooch a little bit. And I was just like, this is fun. Oh, my gosh. Okay, cute. And then as we're, dancing, she turns around and she whips out this small little baggie. And I'm assuming small little baggies of little things means drugs, right? I can't hear a thing. So she's, pointing at it, do you want one? And I was just like, sure, because I wanted to see what it was.
You don't want to be a loser.
I don't want to be a loser.
She always throw it over your
hands me
shoulder.
this. Can you see it? It's the smallest little green apple.
It's just a tiny plastic apple.
Just a tiny plastic apple. And I'm like, oh my God, drugs have evolved. I mean, if we can put them into these little casts.
I'm in.
You can take Molly these days just like this. I was convinced that this was ecstasy. I'm like, this girl's rolling. So I was like, I held on to it.
Yeah.
Because I wanted proof that I was offered drugs, but I wasn't going to take drugs. all night. I was like, couldn't shut up about it. I was like, how cool. Yesterday, I finally looked at it and I wanted to like break it just to see like pill wise what it was. And then I saw a seam and then I saw the imprint of like the plastics number. And then I like tapped it and tried to break it and it wouldn't break. So it's actually just a plastic apple.
Why is that what she like gives her conquests?
Remember me.
You're a notch in my belt. Here's an apple.
You're a notch in my belt. I don't know. I mean, apple makes sense because of the Brat album. So maybe it was just like a trinket. But I didn't know people handed out trinkets.
You should have brought some.
I could have swore I saw her ingest one, though. So either she was fooled or I saw what happened.
That's so interesting. Have you tried sucking on it?
No.
Lick it.
No.
We're all here
but I
with
did
you.
think about it.
We're all here with you. So if something happens, you're fine.
I could have. Yeah, it's like doesn't break at all. So I thought I was handed drugs, but I guess I was not.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I still got to make out with someone. So
you did.
In that way, I am still cool.
You are still very cool.
Thank you.
Confirmed here.
So that was my weekend. And then actually I did go reading on a sunflower farm.
I love how multifaceted you are.
You know, Saturday's for the raves and Sunday is for quiet reading.
Yeah. It's the Lord's Day.
Wholesome content. Yeah, absolutely. So it was great. It
That's
was
a beautiful weekend.
Wonderful weekend.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. Your two sides.
Thank you.
Amazing. I found something that I thought that you would like.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but when somebody sneezes, I don't love saying bless you. I just don't love it. It doesn't feel authentic to me. It feels like I'm lying.
You're a fraud.
So what I found was some non-denominational ways to say bless you.
So you also were raving this weekend, is what you're saying.
I was absolutely raving. Okay, so when you hear somebody sneeze, here are your options. Stop. That was really annoying. And my favorite, I hate when you do that.
Those are great. That was a completely different direction than I thought they would go.
I know.
And they make me really happy.
I know.
They remind me, and I thought about this weekend when I was feeling insecure about my hair. They remind me of when your partner was mad at me. So he told me that my hair looks like shit from the back.
Because there's nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing you can do about it. And so when you sneeze and there's nothing you could do about it and someone's like, stop. I hate it when you do that.
It's incredible.
It's grating when you do that.
You're actually foul.
Just do, yuck.
Did you just fart?
I think we should call people out more on things that they can't control.
I think we should too. I think it'll build character. It'll build resilience.
And make you cooler.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we're all about here. Making you cooler, if you can't tell.
If you can't tell. Oh my God, that's really funny.
Go ahead.
No, you.
In preparation for this episode, which will introduce a couple of new bits that we're doing, I'm going to call them bits. I was searching through Emma and I's texts to find a particular email that we had received. And my search word was penis. And Emma and I have texted the word penis about 1,000 times back and forth to each other. Okay? But my favorite penis
Are you going to read some text right now?
Just one. Just one.
Oh my God.
My favorite penis text that I have received from Emma is, my chiropractor's penis touched my elbow.
Oh my
That was just smack dab in the center of our text.
It did. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that because I feel like that can be helped. So when it happens, is it intentional? Are you flirting with me? There's not a lot of ways you can flirt on a chiropractor table. So I'm wondering if this is one of them.
Are you telling me I'm beautiful?
I texted you immediately after that appointment was done.
Yeah, there was no other like forewarning. This was the first text I received from Emma.
It did. Oh my gosh. I was just, I was like, do I have a crush? Is this mutual now? So
you were flabbergasted.
I needed some feedback. I was.
I'm realizing I do see one more, and I'm assuming it's in response to a screenshot from Bumble that you sent me.
Okay.
And I'm honestly not sure which one of us sent this. I can check. Oh, no, I can't. Because I screenshotted it. It says, nice. I hate that answer more than I hated that guy's wakeboarding penis shot.
I think that was you. Because I would never say wakeboarding penis shot, but I loved it.
All right. Well, there you go.
That's really Oh, wait, because he was probably wakeboarding.
Yeah.
I thought you were like wakeboarding penis, like surfing.
He's a wakeboarding penis, like an insult?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how that would work, but I get where we went with that, and I still think
it was he was wakeboarding and it was a shot of his penis.
Yeah. Wakeboarding penis. Okay, petition to make one of our bits. We pick a word and then read selected texts back and forth.
I think that's wonderful.
But
welcome
just like
to the group
silliest
chat.
Words.
Yeah.
Not like therapy, because I don't know what we'll discover.
No, because that shouldn't be shared on a public forum.
No, that's reserved.
Yeah.
But I think we should do like labia next time.
I think that sounds wonderful. Okay, welcome to the group chat. Next time will be
Oh my God, wait, that's so funny. That's hilarious. Welcome to the group chat.
Yeah. The group chat is just us, but, now it's you too.
Yeah. But now it's you too. And then obviously suggest words. You've heard silly, goofy things, even words we've made up, I'm sure we could find in our text messages. So,
I'm sure.
I think people should just suggest words too.
Yeah. What's that word you always say? Is it, you mix two words. It was like you were trying to say rock on and great, I think. Or something like that.
Oh, no. It's grog.
Oh, it's grog. Of course.
Oh, grog.
Oh, grog. So every time I send something good to Emma, it's just like grog.
That's because one time I misspelled gorge.
Oh,
and it was grog, and now it's the funniest way to say that something is gorge. It's just grog.
Absolutely, it's grog.
Like if a lizard was really happy, Yeah.
Grog.
Yeah. A frog is too easy, but if it's like a lizard.
Yeah.
Duh. Common sense.
So specific. Well, should we just jump right into one of our new series bits? Parts?
Because if you haven't caught up, this is a solo, and we're catching up with you as much as we're catching up with ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so, we want to do some fun, funky things. And so I think we should jump right in.
Yeah, we're going to take you on a little tour of our inbox.
Yes.
If you've ever wondered what Honey Doomy's inbox looks like, it's probably exactly what you're thinking.
Because we've definitely alluded to some of these like alarming, eye-opening, just zappy emails that we've gotten. Zappy. And I think it's time that you hear some of them so that we don't sound like liars.
Yeah. So welcome to our inbox, honey.
Welcome to our inbox. Let's dive in. Shall I begin, or do you want to begin?
Oh, you begin. You start us off.
Okay.
You get us going.
I can't wait. I'm already going. Hot. Heavy.
Hot. If anything gets me going, it's these emails.
It's these emails. Especially this one. I would like to preface that there is no body to this message. Yeah, it is all subject line. Mm-hmm. The subject is, I'm a breeding bull from Ohio with no AIDS or STDs looking for a naughty couple. Send.
Send. There's no need for a body.
What else would you have to say? There's just nothing else you could say. I would also like to say, and I won't say it, but this person sent that email with their first and last name.
Yes, they did. And I'm not thinking it's a fake first and last name. But you know what? So. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Wayne Gretzky, absolutely.
It's fucking true. So you know what? Uh-huh. Do I want it directed to our inbox? No, thank you. And it's nice that you asked. It's nice that you didn't send a picture.
Mm-hmm. And that's not always true.
And you're in our spam folder. So that's where you'll stay. that's where you started, and that's where you'll stay.
We retrieved briefly for content and have since put it back.
Quickly deposited back.
Into the trash. Back into spam. Into the trash.
But I hope you find your people. Your people are just not here.
Not here. But a fully disclosured king, honest, and listed out exactly who he was and what he wanted. So, I mean, other than unwanted over here, I have no other complaints.
No notes. No notes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into what is perhaps one of my favorite emails we've ever received.
Okay.
It's my favorite subject line, at the very least. So this email begins, Emma's challenge. That should set the scene for you. I am going to change some of the details.
Thank you.
Dear Emma, we are a blank and a blank with 40 acres and a pool. We think you're adorable. You can land in blank on our dime and be here in 15 minutes. Lose your clothes and be worshipped for a weekend. Drinks by the pool, great food. Make a pot about it as long as you don't use our names to protect the not so innocent. We don't expect you to accept without more, but just let us know what you need to know. And then there is in fact an image of who I'm assuming is the wife in this couple, naked in a pool.
To say I didn't think about it would be a lie. Because not only did he reach out once, he reached out 3 times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, desperation, check. Flights covered, check. Pool,
Check.
Cannonballs, check. And probably
More than
a
one
lot of
type
good
of
food.
cannonball.
What?
More than one type of cannonball. I assume he does too.
I don't know. There were some indicators that it could be a good time.
Yeah.
For free with some exchange of my soul. But at this point in my life, like, what do I got to lose?
Your life?
I know.
Realistically,
you would have known exactly where I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
But another full disclosure moment, again, fully sent first and last name. I did find their business website and they listed out that they have like children my age. So could you imagine daddy and mommy
and stepmommy Emma
and stepmommy Emma? I'm like the human plate and they're just eating sushi off my back.
The kids must have been out of town that weekend. Right?
Crazy. Oh, it was fun though. It was fun to think about it for a half second.
I will say you've gotten a few of these proposals. Not of the same caliber, but of similar caliber. And I'm wondering, do you have any advice for someone who's interested in you and trying to ask you out or propose this type of weekend via email? Like, what are you looking for?
I thought you'd never ask. Thank you for giving me this platform.
You're welcome.
So thank you. Great question. If you're going to propose another sort of Emma's challenge where you want me for the weekend, let's say, the things that this email did right, offered to pay for my flight. Yeah. So I definitely need room, board, and transportation paid for.
And your own room, not
my own
not at
room.
Somebody's house. Like at, right? Like wouldn't you want it separate from their home?
Yes, okay. I would like a hotel. Like put me up.
Put me up.
I want no expectation of sexual exchange. I just want to hang out. I want snacks. I would love an excursion in your town.
Hometown.
A hometown. Option to do this alone and not with you. But you will foot the bill. And I would personally, it would be nice to have like a credit card while I'm there for the weekend.
Yeah.
So I could go shopping. What else would I need? Snacks is a really big one in my own room. Those are I don't know, live somewhere fun.
Yeah. Do you have an age limit? Because I will say the majority of the emails that we receive are from people at least double our age.
Correct. I mean, for me to take this seriously, I'd say under 50.
Okay.
For me to, definitely be hesitant, 50 plus.
Okay.
More hesitant than I already currently am.
Which is incredibly hesitant. If your parents are listening, they are like, we cannot let this woman live alone.
Fucking Christ. Someone get out to her now.
All right.
Yeah, those are my requirements. Minimum, I guess.
All right. I feel like that's fair. Thank you for giving them a chance.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's all we needed
for
to know.
asking.
You're so welcome. I did have another email that we received that did a lot of stuff wrong.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, just made a lot of mistakes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And this is actually what I was searching for when I searched penis in Emma and I's text.
Oh.
Because,
yes.
Surprise, this one had a giant dick pic. And by giant, I mean the size of the image file. And I'll get to the
JPEG.
I'll get to the details in a second.
JPEG, not his JPEG.
Hi, ladies. I need your help. I'm wondering what you think about penises. Do you like them to be really big? What do you think of mine? Can you tell me what you think? My girlfriend says it's too small, but I want to know what you think. And attached is what, medically speaking, appears to be a micropenis. That is not a judgment on my part. It is literally the
clinically,
facts.
objectively medical.
And I want to paint this picture for you because it's just at the end of the email, so you don't really expect it, and then you're scrolling down and you're like, ah! And it is this human laying on their back with their legs up in the air. I'm assuming they're on a bed. I don't know. And they've got their phone positioned so that it's pointed at their undercarriage. Gonads first.
Gonads first. Long pause. Yeah, it was an interesting alert to get at work. Yeah. I'll say I did scroll on my email at my place of employment, and I was so worried immediately. It was not a small like picture attachment.
No, when you choose the attachment size, they chose large. Like they didn't even choose like actual size. They were like, enlarge this.
So we hypothesized that this person was interested in like degradation play, perhaps.
Yeah.
Because
go ahead.
You don't phrase something as like being lacking of and asking for advice and then sending a picture like that. If you're not asking for them to already agree with their partner. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I think they were seeking out humiliation.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Wanted us to engage in it. No, I think degradation was perfect. And I gotta say, horribly inappropriate.
We have no guidelines for how to ever do this to us again. So please don't.
Don't. Literally don't. Locked, trashed, done. Reported to the police. Just kidding.
Reported to the police. They were waiting for this episode to come out, though, so it didn't spoil it.
Yeah. They're on our time.
Yeah, they're on our time. So expect a rap at the door.
So when I was thinking about this, not as I often do, I decided to look up a little bit of information on dick pics just to like get a better understanding. And I found an article on sex and psychology, and it's by Dr. Justin Lehmiller, and he seems to be the primary researcher for dick pics, unsolicited dick pics in particular. He's a sexologist.
Should talk to him.
I know. He's on the list. So he published a study, this is in like 2019, I believe, published a study in the Journal of Sex Research, which involved a sample of over 1,000 men, all of who said they only sleep with women, and found that 48% of these guys had sent an unsolicited dick pic before. 48%.
That's a shocking number.
I know. The men who sent unsolicited photos tended to be younger, more narcissistic, so they had an overly inflated sense of self-worth, and they also reported holding more sexist attitudes.
Interesting.
I know. And the most common reason they reported for sending these photos was because they were hoping to get nude pics sent back in return.
See, that is a really interesting point to bring up, because I guess I didn't I thought it was more of like a display, like a
exhibitionist type
of thing. But they were hoping, I mean, that makes sense, hoping to get nudes back. I just want to know, I would love to know the percentage of which unsolicited dick pics has succeeded in the mission of getting pics sent back. Is there a stat on there for that? I mean, men probably lie anyways, so.
Yeah. I don't see it immediately, so I'm not going to search too hard. I imagine very few.
Very few.
I think there is a proper way to send a dick pic.
Absolutely.
Ask. That's it. Ask.
There it is.
And if you're listening and you're like, but they're going to say no, I promise you.
Then stop there.
And the right person will say yes. Your person is going to say yes.
That's great. Thank you for motivational speak.
Mm-hmm. And
well, isn't that oh, sorry, go ahead.
If nobody's saying yes, maybe your person's not out there.
Your person's not out there. Or find a website.
Yeah.
Pay someone to look at it, because there's people that will do that too as their job. And so, like, maybe. I don't know if that's a part of.
Ask that.
Yeah.
Can I pay you to look at my ween?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
Can you pay me to laugh and show Emma your
that
wiener?
Would be an interesting new little bit.
Yeah. But ask.
Ask. And you have to pay me first.
Yeah. Like a lot.
And I'm going to charge a lot of money. Yeah.
Otherwise.
And then even more money. I think this is just sex work, but that's fine. I mean, I need more money. Yeah. And then we can charge more if they want a response.
Yeah. Because you're probably not getting one.
Yeah.
Anyways, don't send us anything like that ever again.
That was really funny, though. Thank you for looking farther into that.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I feel like we all need to know.
Sometimes, I will say, emails work out.
Yes.
And emails are gold little nuggets in the pile of coal.
And we deeply appreciate those. When you're telling us, thank you for helping me, when you're saying I loved this episode, or like, I'd love to hear about this, thank you so much. You're speaking to our hearts, baby.
When you're praising me, if you end any sentence with "we love you guys" or "I love you guys," you know what? You're usually on the right course.
Yeah, you're in.
You're in. So we got a great email asking about shame. So I'm going to TLDR it, but start off. Hello, ladies. I haven't listened to all the episodes yet, but today I listened to episode 63, Stop Shooting Yourself with Ray McDaniels. There was a portion of the conversation that went down a rabbit hole about shame, and it got me wondering about rejection, but not necessarily shameful rejection. I mean, when you ask your partner about something you want to try or a fantasy you have, but they are not interested. I totally understand not everyone has the same interests, and that's okay, but could we have an episode or a conversation about talking about that part? Thank you again.
Yes. First of all, we would love to do another episode on rejection.
Yes.
Absolutely. We do have one coming out very soon that I feel like touches on rejection, and it's very, very good. So you're going to love it. But we wanted to come up with a few episode suggestions that we've already had that we think cover this topic really well, and then some advice that we feel like we've gathered from doing 200 episodes of this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So the first episode that I thought of was one where we had Susan Bratton on to talk about, I want to say, threesomes and sex parties.
Yes.
So don't get scared now. I'm not going to say have a threesome and it's figure out all your problems. But with Susan, we ended up talking about how when you're bringing up things you want to try, and I was like just starting out dating and I didn't know how to like start having casual sex. She said to start out these dates by like making offers and asking like, I really want to go see the Barbie movie and I'd love to make out in my car after. And then if that feels really good, like maybe we can play around with our hands. Like, what are your thoughts on something like that? And it sounds so much easier coming out of her mouth because it just sounded fun and playful and like, I'm offering to engage in this with you. What are your thoughts? Give me your temperature. And this hasn't happened yet. We're not in the bedroom and I'm not asking you even while we're at our most vulnerable. I'm just offering this as a potential like template of our day. What are your thoughts? And I thought that was like, because then someone could be like, no, I don't want to see Barbie. I want to see Oppenheimer, but I'll totally make out with you in the car after. You know,
Dumb.
like, I know. But like you can kind of switch out like this offer and break it down and then be like, I wouldn't do hand stuff, but I'll totally like touch you over the shirt.
But I'll totally touch your bubicle over the shirt.
I'll do a lot of dry humping with our jeans on. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
I'll finger you in jean shorts. Awful.
never again.
I love that episode. It's super fun in general, but I love the idea of making offers. And something that Susan said that really stuck with me is that, you know, sometimes she makes offers and people say no. And if you have listened to any of our episodes with Susan, you know she is like so hot, so cool, so confident, so like fierce in knowing what she wants. And she also gets rejected. You know what I mean? So like cool people get rejected all the time. And I feel like it's nice to know that like, you know, it's not like your partner's saying, no, that's weird to you. And then nobody else's partner is doing the same. Well, hopefully they're saying it in a much more kind, loving way than that. But I think it just helps me to remember like Susan, people say no to Susan too. So it's okay if they say no to me.
Absolutely. This was episode 144, by the way. I don't think I said that in the beginning, but yeah. And then it's not like the way she phrased it too was like, I don't want to do that plan. It's not, I don't want you to be there. It's like just that plan might not fit me today or this afternoon. And it's just like having an offer ready. I don't know. It kind of like removes self from it. I feel like in my head.
It's like one step beyond saying like, oh, I listened to this podcast episode. What do you think? It's like you're putting yourself in it and saying, I want this. What do you think? But it's like a plan you've already made so you can set it to the side. And if they say no, you're like, yeah, super lame. I didn't want to do it anyway.
Me either. I'm no longer in the mood. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Love that episode. Give your next episode as well because mine comes after those two. So I feel like we can do it in order.
The next episode I thought of, because we just want to give you a plethora of options to choose from, was episode 148, where we talked about how to ask for rough sex. And with that, I feel like touches on parts of this email where it's like different kinks, different interests, and you might not always have the same interests as your partner. And so throughout this conversation, we not only talk about like how to ask for things when you're feeling insecure or they're new or they're kinky or they're just different, but also how to make these conversations fun because they should be, because you're asking about types of pleasure you and your partner could engage in. You're not asking which torture device you want to use. I mean,
or you
maybe,
are.
but like consensually, and it would be fun. And so I love having tools to make something flirtier, especially when you're feeling a little insecure. And I just thought that that was like a beautiful resource for literally exactly what you're asking for in this email.
I love that episode. Something that both of those episodes just made me think about is, you know, if you are having these conversations with a long-term partner in particular, I think it's great to listen to them together, to come up with a plan together of like, you know, when I propose something, doing something new, trying something new, and you want to say no, here's our kind of script that we use that we know isn't going to cut deep at the shame wound. You know what I mean? It's like you have these specific words you can use that recognize, hey, I see you're into that. No shame at all. No shame at all.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. You know what I mean? It just, you can do that with a partner. So why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. I love that. And then did you have one more, you said?
Yeah. So the episode I thought of was episode 152, Puss Yourself Out There, with the ladies of Shameless Sex. Nice. That whole episode is really about putting yourself out there, dealing with rejection. It's not all necessarily having to do with sex. A lot of it's about dating. But I think it's just, they talk a lot about just putting yourself out there, obviously, and how it gets easier the more that you do it. And I think that's so true. It's like you realize that asking somebody out at the grocery store isn't going to kill you, or saying I'm really interested in doing this sexual thing. Like the disappointment and embarrassment aren't actually the end of the world, and you kind of can build up a thicker skin to them. You know what I mean? We're not taught how to do these things. We're not taught how to talk about sex except for in context like Honey Do Me. And it's like you do need the opportunity to build a thicker skin. We've built a thicker skin in asking for, like, you know, when you get a paper graded in school or you get feedback from a boss, like you've learned how to deal with those things because you've had to have those conversations. These are not conversations we've had to have. They're conversations we should be having. Right. So yeah, I think just fucking doing it.
I personally love a challenge. And so if I think that I'm not resilient enough, what are you recalling? Oh, see? So another thing he got right was the title of that email. That's why we opened it.
Yeah. I'm in.
But if I can see a part of myself that like could use some growth, and definitely working on being more resilient to rejection is a spot where I could use some growth. Like having them point that out was like, okay, I should definitely try to work on that a little bit because it won't fucking kill you. And then maybe one time you ask, someone will say yes.
Well, and I can't remember if this was their advice or not, but like asking for other things, like, oh, can you hand me my water? Or can you get me that? And like sometimes they're going to say no. That's still building little bits of resilience. And you can slowly work your way up to those bigger, more vulnerable questions.
I want to say Dr. Tara mentioned that too in like some dirty talk or some... I also think it was in the episode you referenced, but yeah, like when you're trying to work with power play or like being more dominant, you know, like starting with asking for them to do things outside of the bedroom too to get. So anyway, like all of that is just, you wrap it up together, and there's so much good content for you to start working on rejection and asking for what you want.
We'll keep hitting you with more as always.
We couldn't leave you dry. I don't know where I was going to go with that. But there's nothing we love more than like cool, interesting, funky sex facts. Because they make us feel good about ourselves. They make us feel seen. And this whole episode is about seeing you, you know, through our email, and then feeling seen together. And did that bridge the gap? Have we bridged?
Stunning bridge. I'm ready to walk it.
Let me strut this bridge. So we want to dive into some sex facts that are fun, funky, and make us feel good about ourselves.
Yeah, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I do. So I cherry-picked every single one of these sex facts to make my single ass feel fantastic.
Amazing.
My single celibate ass feel fantastic.
Beautiful.
So let's start here. First fact I found is we are talking about sex more, but we are having sex less collectively as a society. So there is no rush for sex trend predates the pandemic, according to a solid body of research. There's more citing that I have. Don't worry. UCLA has been... That's not the full... And that is it. According to me. This predates...
solid body.
Solid body of work. UCLA has been tracking behavioral trends for years. And the largest state health survey in the nation concluded that in 2021, Californians aged 18 to 30 who reported having no sex partners prior year, reached 38%. So like average age adults, 38% of them were not having sex an entire year. And in 2011, so that was in 2021. In 2011, the percentage was 22%. So it jumped over 10% in 10 years. So we're talking about sex more. I feel like it's circulated more in the media, but we're having sex less.
That's super interesting and a great way to describe our show. We're talking about sex more and having sex less.
Honestly, the more I've gotten comfortable with sex, the less I've had it.
Yeah.
With others.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. But the more sex you've had with yourself.
Definitely.
I wonder what the masturbation stats are.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I wonder if they've increased. You know what I mean? We'll save that for the next solo.
We'll dog ear that one, yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Here you go.
Okay. I have so many. Do you want to hear about confidence, number of partners, or what people are doing with their pubes?
The range. Let's start with number of partners first.
Okay. So a survey conducted in 2019 by Euroclinics, which is an online healthcare provider, found that the most common number of sexual partners was 2 to 4. So 25% of respondents answered that. But there is such a wide range, which means that if your number is anywhere from 0 to 91 plus, you're pretty fucking normal.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So only 1% of people answered 90 plus, but I would love to hear their stories.
Yeah.
The other most common numbers were between 5 and 9 partners and 10 to 15 partners. So I wanted to get a better understanding of this because I have not had many sexual partners, and that's a bit of an insecurity of mine. I feel like everybody is out there just banging their hearts out just with, all the hotties of the world. And, I have a small number. But this made me feel I'm in that 2 to 4 range, and this made me feel like I'm just one of the crew.
Yeah, you sure are.
Yeah.
Definitely the crew here at Honeydew Me.
Yeah. This
What
crew
was the
of
next
2.
range? What was that?
This crew of 2.
This crew of 2.
5 to 9 partners was the next range, and then 10 to 15.
Gotcha. Yeah, because if the collective, you said 25% have 2 to 4. Of course, that's a fourth of this data, but that's still not a lot. Where am I going with this? Is that, yes, that is a big bulk, but
There's still 75% of
still
other people.
75% of people who are in this normal range. So it's almost like you're all 100% normal.
Exactly. That was the point of it. No matter how many people you slept with, had sex with, consensual not loving, I don't know why I said loving, consensual sex with, doesn't have to be loving.
Loving, tender.
You're normal,
Religious
bitch.
sex. I love it. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'll do one last one.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Beautiful.
10% of all dreams include sex. So if you're horny and lonely, go to sleep. According to a study published by American Academy of Sleep Medicine, nearly 1 in 10 dreams contain R-rated sexual content. Women are more likely to have sex dreams about politicians, celebrities, and their exes, while men are more likely to dream about having sex with multiple partners at once.
Damn.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
I know. But R-rated.
That's
not
bananas.
Even just kissing. If 1 out of 10 nights you're having sex dreams, you don't ever need to settle down.
You can stay single for life, babe.
For life. And you're basically partnered with all those people in your mind.
In your dream worlds.
Amen
aren't they always
to that.
better in the dream world?
Sure are. In the fantasy book and dream world. But as someone who has had very R-rated dreams, I think this is cool.
Yeah.
There's others out there, and I would love to hear more.
Do you
sex
still have
dreams.
your sleep orgasms?
I do. I didn't want to brag. But.
This was sex facts to make you feel good about yourself, not absolute dog shit.
Not to make you feel terrible.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I would say I have them about twice a month.
That's substantial. It's more than I have.
It's pretty cool.
In dream life or real life.
Like I said, I didn't want to brag.
The sex machine.
It's just a sex machine. All right, you go.
All right. I do have 2 more groups of facts that I feel are important to share.
Ugh. Slut for research.
I know. You let me out on the internet and I'm just a wild beast. Okay, from that same survey by Euroclinics, they looked at confidence. And I thought that this was really interesting because I'm not always confident in bed. You know what I mean? I don't think many of us are always confident in bed.
Opposite of what you've been telling us for years, but sure.
But sure, whatever. So 10% of women never feel confident in the bedroom, compared to only 3% of men. It's both
Staggering.
depressing and like validating a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is depressing though a little bit.
Yeah, and 40% of women said that missionary and being on the bottom was the most comfortable sexual position. Agreed.
Agreed. Okay, really quick aside.
Yeah.
In MILF Manor, season 2, they asked the women what the best sex position was. And these were women in like their 40s and 50s. And I guess they were just in 60s. They were just like more rambunctious than I've ever been. Because collectively, they said like cowgirl or doggy. And I was just like, I would never say that was my favorite position.
I know that when somebody says doggy is their favorite sex position, like you and I aren't on the same sexual level. You know what I mean? Like you must be wild in the sheets. I am not.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed by you. I'm wowed.
Yeah.
I'm stunned. And doggy will never be my favorite position.
No.
Never.
I agree.
But if you are looking for ways to make doggy more enjoyable, we have an episode on that, and that is a really good episode.
It's fun every now and then. It's just not my favorite.
It's not my go-to. It's not my foundation. 21% said that cowgirl made them feel the least secure in their bodies, which, again, makes sense. You're all out there. But I want to close that up with something really cute that study found. Older people feel the most confident in their skin. 22% of men and women between 55 and 64 say that they always feel confident in their bodies, compared to only 7% of people between the ages of 18 and 24. So you have something to look forward to. And I think that's very nice.
That is very nice. Oh, stunning. Did you have another one that you were going to say?
I do. I have pubes.
Okay. Because I'm feeling left out, I need to say 2 really quick ones then.
Lay it on me.
Going. Okay. These ones are really quick. I don't need to talk about them because they speak for themselves.
Okay.
There was a doctor who's a clinical psychologist, certified sex therapist, Dr. Kelfern Pomeranz, which I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly. On their website, they have just a list of sexual facts that you could learn about sex itself. And 2 of them I had to write down because I was staggered by them. Okay. The average speed of ejaculation from a penis, 28 miles per hour.
That's a lot faster than I can run.
That's faster than I can bike.
That's bananas.
Isn't that insane?
That's faster than I drive in a school zone. Or residential.
I agree. And at night. So next fact I learned. Okay. 4,599,000,000. That's the end of that number. Hours of porn were watched on the Pornhub website in just 1 year. I don't know which year. Probably COVID. And that is equal to 5,246 centuries. Right?
You know, that makes me feel a little less bad about my screen time.
Yes, thank you. That's why I brought this up.
Yeah. Facts to make you feel good about yourself.
I knew you were worried.
Holy shit.
I know. So those were the 2 really unusual, has nothing to do with to make you feel better about yourself, but I just found and I needed to tag in there. So
those are fascinating.
Now to pubes.
Okay. I'm always curious. What are people doing with their pubes? You know, like what's the temperature out there? Jessica DeFino, the author of the advice column Ask Ugly from The Guardian, conducted a poll of over 14,000 people using her newsletter and found the following. 82% of the straight women polled remove some of their pubic hair, but only 15% of respondents say they are completely bare down there. 40% maintain a bikini-shaped bush. 29.5% report rocking either a full bush or a slightly trimmed full bush, and 11% leave a small landing strip. A full 60% of the people polled say they don't remove the hair on or around their anus at all. So I do want to give a disclaimer. I think they focused on straight women's responses because this particular article was in response to a straight woman asking about men's perceptions of pubic hair, but I don't know, so take it all with a grain of salt. Yeah. I have a couple more stats and then we can chat. So while 65% of women report worrying about whether new male partners will judge their pubic hair style, only 16% say a partner has ever asked them to change the way they groom their pubic hair. Of the men polled, 50% say they have no preference whatsoever when it comes to pubic hair or butthole hair.
That is refreshing.
Their partner could have all of it, none of it, some of it, whatever. As for those who do have a preference, 17% prefer a full bush, 18% prefer the area bare, and most prefer a polite cleanup of the general genital vicinity. More than 71% of male respondents say they've never been turned off by a partner's pubic or butt hair. And many even wrote in with enthusiastic praise for pubes. Comments included, natural body hair is hot, and grow the bush, as well as who has the energy and flexibility to shave their own anus.
Also the itch of it growing back. I'm sorry, you could be Zeus himself and I would not shave my asshole for you.
I'm sorry, this butthole is full of hair.
And it always will be. Tagline. I have never understood the landing strip, I gotta say. That's the one. That's the one I've tried. I've looked. I've been, and then I've shaved immediately.
Yeah, it's not for me. It's not for me, but it's clearly for somebody.
Clearly. Wow. 60% don't care about butthole hair. We are sold some bullshit then, because we've been told since we were sexually active to be naked mole rats from tip to tail, especially your asshole. Mm-hmm. Where are we hearing this from? Who's circulating this?
The government.
I gotta write a letter. The government, obviously.
My God. Oh. Yeah. So there's that. I thought that was just fascinating.
It is, especially the people who do. Because I'll say I have a preference for body hair. I appreciate the polite cleanup.
Yeah.
But I also don't really give a shit because I love a hairy person. I love a hairy man. I guess I've never experienced. Anyway,
there's always time.
Let's tiptoe right past that one. But to say that even the preferences majority is just like still with hair, it's great to hear.
Yeah. So put down the razor.
Put it down.
Grow it out.
This episode will cancel all razors everywhere.
Razors are going down. Bye, Gillette. Bye, Venus.
Bye, Chic.
See you never.
See you never. Oh, that's really funny. Wow, those were fascinating.
Yeah.
I hope everyone else was as entertained by that as we were, because I had a great time.
Because I am on the edge of my seat, wet as a river.
Wet as a river. Oh, my gosh. Well, I've had the best time catching up with everyone, reading your emails, even the funny, silly, goofy ones. And email corner is also like one of my favorite things that we're going to do now this season.
So keep them coming. Again, no unsolicited dick pics. Ask. And the answer will likely be no, unless you can come up with a very compelling reason.
Or a lot of money. Which is a compelling reason.
Again, just a very compelling reason. And we will see you next week. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
All right. Don't forget, you can subscribe to Honey Do Me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, rate, review, do all of those good things. Watch us on YouTube, follow us on TikTok and Instagram, and you can always submit a question or a topic that you want to see at the link in our bios. And we love you so much.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.